doing? What's going on? It's me, your girl, Bunny Cat.
And Esther.
And we're welcoming you to another amazing episode of
What the Internet Said.
Yes.
Right, so if you're Gen Z, you've probably heard phrases like, as long as you are under my roof. Or, when you have your children, you understand.
Oh, God. And it's so annoying because, like, turning 25 or 18 is a bit confusing because you never can tell whether or not your parents are going to let you go out. Where are you going? What time are you coming back? Who are you going with? Who's going to be there? You know, all that kind of stuff. It's crazy.
But let's be honest. Are African parents really strict? Or do they just think someone is going to be outside that's about to kidnap us because they think someone wants to kidnap you every single time?
So, yeah, like she said, it's crazy. And we're bringing Gen Zs to come have the conversation with us today to know whether or not are our parents strict? Are they overreacting? Are they, you know, that kind of stuff. So, yeah, we're just going to find out today. So, let's get into it.
Yar.
I love being in a relationship.
I open TikTok. People are mad.
Don't even call us picnics.
Like, we don't want to sit down and be like,
what is the idea of like living a fake life?
Are you not ashamed?
That's why the Olodo uprising is happening. I'm trying to look for the right words to breathe. So if you give me nonsense, I'm going to give you nonsense back. Garbage in, garbage out. Garbage out.
Okay, so you guys know what the conversation is about today. It's something really serious because, like, we're all Africans, right? We're all Nigerians, I believe. And you know how you grow up in a Nigerian home and your parents are so strict, African parents are so uptight. And it's like, I personally believe that most African parents train their children for society, not for themselves. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Is that a bad thing?
Yeah, it is a bad thing because you're not supposed to train your kids for society. You're supposed to train them for themselves.
Okay, continue. I disagree, but yeah.
No, why do you disagree?
I mean, like, at the end of the day, they're going to enter the society and whatever home training that they give to them would guarantee the safety of whoever is going to be in the society as well. So at the end of the day, it's also a good thing to me. It's just like saying that you're not going to train your child for the society and then he grows up to become like a thug, right? And he does that, or because you're trying not to build him for, train him for the society, he does that. He goes into that same society and causes damage. So at the end of the day.
You know, talking about training for society, I'm just thinking about how training the male child and training the female child for society is very, very, very different. I feel like the female children,
that's a different conversation on its own.
No, I feel like it's part of this conversation.
I agree with you. But like, if we're going to go into that, then we're going to like really go into it.
Let's go
into it.
With you.
I do agree with you because I think, funny enough, I was having this conversation, I think sometime last week with a friend where we're saying that the way they trained women and the way they train men are very different things.
Yes.
We're talking about, and the conversations came from emotions. With men, when we're less younger, it was easy. They'd be like, oh, you're not meant to cry. Rather show anger and show all these other very hard emotions, which has actually, narrowed or structured how a lot of men are. Why for women, it was always a thing of, oh, you're free to cry, or maybe you're not free to get angry. They're like, woman, she dey vex. Woman, no dey vex. You know those kind of things, but men can vex. So, I mean, if something happens outside and a woman is angry, is obviously like, I should be woman, no. But then a man would do the same exact thing the woman has done and say, oh, he's supposed to be angry. So I think, like, at the end of the day, you're correct. The training was a problem. Like having to train men this way or train women this way, it was supposed to be a holistic thing. Right. You're training a child, train the child the way it should be. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I want to go back to what you said in response to what I said. When I say you train your child, don't train your child for society because you train your child to be a people pleaser. Like, your child does not have a personality of their own. Because most of the time, African parents will tell you, don't do this style for guys. They'll tell you, don't cut your hair like this. You go on a low cut or something. Society will tell you, don't wear this, wear that. And you don't allow children to express themselves. Because everybody in society is not like a robot. Everybody is not acting holier than thou. When it's like we're not allowed to express ourselves. When you see someone with colored hair, you automatically start to think that this person is wayward, or you start to think that this person is, not conforming to the societal norms, if that makes sense. And I feel like that's because like most African parents train their children for society, not training their children to have a personality of their own.
Okay, so I'm going to say something here. Now, personally, so I grew up in a home where my mom is very awesome. She did not train us. Yes, she did. She was hard on us based on, not having to grow up and be stupid. She doesn't like stupid people. Be human and have sense. But when it comes to being very rigid, she was strict. But when it came to like expression of being yourself, she was very, very keen on that. She always told us, you have to know who you are, first and foremost, and then you have to be yourself. So that means if you feel like doing this thing and you can justify your action, go ahead. As long as it's not, robbing someone else wrongly or offending your neighbor. But you must make sure that, first of all, morally it's right, because I mean we are Nigerians.
Okay. So I'm gonna say give a response to what you said concerning like the hair, and I know that the hair is like a form of like a point of contact for an example of what you're basically trying to express and say. But I would always say something like my mom will always complain. When I was younger, like I was always wearing like a very short skirt because I love short skirts. I do. And she would always tell me, why am I showing my legs outside? Why am I showing my legs outside? I should dress properly. And I'm like, no, mommy, like if those men want to look at my legs, then they are the ones that are, they are the problem, not me. And I would defend that because, like you rightfully said, if you can be yourself and justify whatever actions that you're taking, it's valid. I justified it. I'm screaming. I justified mine, and that made me, go into a lot of things that I shouldn't, involve myself with in the first place. So I would say something that I will always tell my friends, like if your parents are being hard on you, is the best way that they can, right? But like the main goal and the sole purpose of them being as hard as they want to be is out of love.
I agree.
It is out of love.
Well, sometimes...
And African parents, I'm not done, sorry.
Okay, fine.
African parents, before they gave it to us, they did not go through therapy. Some African parents, they did not go through therapy. So they actually followed the ways of their parents. And the reason why I say that is because they heard their parents, they listened to them, and most of them would not listen, so most of them would. And they saw with experiences, because they're actually way older than we are. They saw with experiences that parents are actually right. But the means in which they pass the information might be the wrong one, right? So an African parent would tell you, oh, don't dye your hair, don't do this, don't do that. But they're saying that because not for you to not express yourself or to hinder whatever creativity you might have in the future, but to just make you attract the right person. And the reason for that is I will always tell people, dress how you want to be addressed. I'm sorry. If you want to color your hair ginger, you're gonna attract someone that's colored his head blonde.
Okay, and what's problem?
What's wrong with that?
Which is not a problem, right? But when people are saying that, oh, my African mother is having an issue with the hair of ginger, when she's actually saying that so that you don't attract some certain kind of people, because let's be for real, like, are you trying to tell me that if I'm wearing a suit and wearing a corporate dress, I will go into the club with that outfit? No. But if I'm wearing a gingered hair, I can easily have access to such a place because that's the kind of places that welcome people like that.
Well, not every club.
I wouldn't wear a suit.
That's for free.
And
not every club wants
to a club.
There are new clubs.
There are actually clubs that have street rules.
If you are not coming correct.
Yes.
What do you mean ginger hair?
Yeah.
I mean,
they do this, and it's a thing about marketing. Like they look at you. If you don't look the part, get out. That's actually.
I mean, looking the part is different for me when an actual suit. Like,
I mean, you can.
I feel you, right?
Yeah,
but there's what he's just trying to say, that there are some certain clubs that they have like they assess you based on how you're dressing. So you might be thinking you ate with your outfit, and they are just thinking you look ras, and they are just thinking you look disorganized.
This
you get
decent thing with ladies and quote unquote ashawo dresses. There are some clubs you come to with a certain level of ashawo dress, and you'll be bounced.
Yes,
Because
I've heard
that's not
stories like that.
being
Yes,
Yeah.
you
They
look
want
tacky.
they want you to come chic and nice, but what are you wearing?
So the
They'll
thing
send
is
you
that
out.
now, as a parent, if a parent goes ahead and says, "Oh, don't wear this, don't wear that," she's not technically restricting you from going to the club, is she?
no,
Right,
no.
like I'm talking about, like so the example I made was in relation to as an African parent, because an African parent genuinely wouldn't want their children to go outside with ginger hair or go outside with blonde hair because they are worried about what their friends will say. Oh, is that not your daughter?
And that's what she's
Is that
talking
not
about.
your
She's
child?
talking about dressing,
Like,
they're training a child
yes.
for society.
That's what I'm trying to say. But at the end of the day, is that entirely bad?
That's
It's just trying to make you responsible and
I
giving
get.
you like a covering
That's-
over your head.
I understand, but I feel like not in all cases they're not right in all cases. Most
They're
of them,
not right
like
in
you
all
said,
cases.
most of them have not gone through therapy. Most of them they are training you based off of trauma. For example, a woman, I'm so sorry, but most single moms, there's a way they train their children that is different from the way a proper family mom and dad trains their child. They're more very like protective, more harsh. You can't do this. I know I've met people like that.
I
and
don't
She's
know.
very correct.
and you can see
You
can
know
see
why?
clearly but because they
That's
don't
my
want
story.
they don't want
okay.
okay
Yeah.
yes
And I-
they don't want you to make
maybe,
the mistake
yeah.
they made, so they are very protective. They are very, where did you go to, don't do this, you can't do this, and that's why I don't want you to get pregnant, I don't want you to do, you understand? So it's based off of trauma. So sometimes it's not genuine parenting, it's just they are trying to parent you out of fear. And I
Because-
feel like that's not right.
So when you say it's not right, I'm
Like-
not going to agree with you all the way. But
Yeah.
let me just say something to you. So I know a lot of people know this about me. To be fair, so I was trained by a single mom, and she made it a sole purpose when we were growing up to be very strict, and that's not really her nature. Because when I got older, I understood that my mom is so chill. But when I was younger, we had like a triangular movement. So it was church, school, house.
Yeah.
Church, school, house. The only caveat was maybe some breakouts to grandma's house. Most times, grandma would come to our house. So she was very strict as regards to us. She was very protective of us. And she said, so there was one story she told us back then, when she was with my dad and all that, and they saw someone misbehaving on the road, and then they asked. So my dad, it can be somehow. So, well, long story short, they asked the boy questions, and they figured he was just trained by a woman. And he said, you see, that's what women train. So when the situation happened and she had to train her kids herself, she was training us based off like, my children are not going to be wayward, they are going to know what they are meant to do, and again, she did not fear to show us love or tell us that believe in yourself, but she was strict about certain things.
Yeah, there was a
So
balance.
when I say
There
that's
was a balance
when I say
in
that's
her
not
case.
right, the cases I see,
Yeah.
right, they are very
Extreme.
Exactly.
I
There's
guess.
nothing like love. In fact, they're going to be calling you. First, there's somebody I know. The woman would literally call her child, say prostitutes. You want to go and sleep with people. The girl doesn't have any thought or idea, but because of the fear, because of the trauma she has faced in the past, that's why
crazy.
she's not projecting. She's not parenting anymore. She's just
projecting.
afraid. I don't want my child to. And like you said, people say, this one is trained by a single parent. Most people are always quick to say, it's because you don't have a father in your life, that's why. It's because you don't. Statements like
And
that.
a lot of times people, in fact certain people that watch this stuff, that my friends, will be shocked about this thing I just said here. Not a lot of people know that. That's how I grew
Meaning your
up.
mom did a great job.
Not a lot of people, and it's not even something. When I was younger, I used to shy away from once you bring it up, I'll cover it up. I'm very smart, so I know how to cover up conversations. So it's not even something. But then I grew up old, and I understood that, first of all, this is my story. Secondly, it is not a thing of shame. It is what it is.
Right.
You
Yeah,
get what I'm
it's
saying?
not your fault.
It's not my fault. Even
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of my mom, because back then she'd buy us gifts and she'd keep it and say, your dad got you this. She was the one doing everything.
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying?
Wow.
But then she was also fire. So it's a thing of, when I hear my mom's voice, I'm really checking my surroundings. What is not right? Is my room clean? Because she would come down on you. But at the same breath, she would also remind you who you are.
Yeah.
So the low self-esteem that I face, my mom was the one that made me fight. Like, she made me understand that, Omo, you can walk into the room and own the room. So don't feel any less of yourself. So now, to what you said about some of them didn't get therapy, I like to say these things are a matter of choice.
To get therapy?
No, like, not to get therapy. Like, I know that therapy is not something we see here in Nigeria.
Yeah.
But I mean, there are some things that happen to you and you make the decision that, you know what?
I want to change this.
I'm not going to continue
this pattern, yeah.
My mom made that choice that her parents, the way her parents trained her is not the way she was going to train her kids. Because when we were younger, she had chances to leave us to like her parents and go work, because back then, I'm talking like 2000, 2001, it was a crime to be a single mother with 2 kids. Like, some jobs won't take you. Do you understand? So,
Crazy.
How does that even, what?
No,
Nigeria, we're Africans.
No, like, okay, so the story is just, she had said an oil company was going to take her in Port Harcourt. And then when they filled the place of marital status, she said single. Kids, she said 2. And they were like, So what happens to the kids?
Can
and
I
she was
do
like,
my job, please?
No, they just, that's the very interesting
that was
about
at the
Nigerians,
time.
yeah.
But now you see times have changed. But 2000 women, you can do like a research. Women who were single mothers between 2000 and let's say 2010, between that period, had it very tough to get jobs, to do things, because
That's very crazy.
there was always you have kids, how are you going to maintain with the job? You understand what I'm saying? So back then, kudos to my mama, she did a very good job, I won't lie. But again, she was still strict with parenting. She was still
I mean, I feel like there needs to also be a balance.
Yeah, to be
You
fair.
can't-
Most African parents are extreme.
That's it.
Yeah.
They don't know when to balance it out, and some of them don't know that these things that they're doing to their kids is traumatic. They don't, the way they speak to their kids, that sometimes you're stupid, you're foolish, useless, all those kind of things. I think it's very absurd, because there are so many people out there that you will ask them that, what is one traumatic thing that your parents have done to you? And they will tell you one minute thing that stuck with them. I have experiences like that, right? You say your mom said, you should bring something for her, and you didn't bring it properly, or you forgot or something, and she say, you're very stupid, you're useless, foolish boy. As how now? And that's why I say that most African parents train their kids for society. For example, with jobs, right? They want their kids to become doctors. They will not want their kids to become musicians, footballers, and stuff like that. And I think that's so absurd.
That's something. So when it comes to career, so my mom for a long time wanted me to be a doctor. So it was always, you're going to be a doctor. You're that smart. You should be a doctor. I mean, yes, when I was in primary school, I want to be a doctor. I think I wanted to be like 5 things at some point at the same time. But then when I got into, secondary school, I started to understand myself and how my brain worked. And I told her, I don't think I want to do science anymore. So I moved from science to art in SS1. Because I did science in SS1. So SS2, I moved to art. And she was like, kudos, no wahala. You'll be a lawyer.
I mean, that's the next thing.
Okay, no problem. I mean,
That's
I
the
was
next
so
decent job.
Yeah.
I was so good with all the stuff, all that. But as time went on, there's something about life. Life would structure things for you. The universe, will I say God? God.
I would say God.
I would say
It's
God.
God,
You
though.
have to say
Yeah, I mean, God, I forget to God.
Universe.
But
Universe,
I'll say
okay.
God structured my life. Like, he just said, I know what you want. I know what your family wants. But I know what is good for you. So, all the time, all the Lord things, now so, it's just the 4. Then, at some point, she realized, you know what?
I think this is what this
Just
is
do
field.
what you want to do. Like, she would support me. From film school to being like a professional broadcaster, like mass communication, and currently working in marketing and comms. She has always supported the journey. From the time she found out that, maybe I cannot impose this science and law thing on this boy at this point. He has done. So, again, but I have friends who, up to date, are doing what their parents wanted them to do, not what they wanted. And it makes them very unhappy.
So let me say something concerning that. You rightfully said something about choice.
Yeah.
And can people stop blaming their parents for every single thing that happens in their life?
Yeah, sometimes.
Let's be for real. Can they stop blaming their parents for every single thing that happens in their life.
agree.
Example is just like saying you want to blame the trauma for every stupid decision you take. And this is not to say that I'm not sympathetic about things that happen to people's life. But like you rightfully said, it's a choice.
Yeah.
And if your parent goes ahead to say, let me use myself as an example. My mom sometimes she doesn't say thank you. There's nothing. She's so grateful. You can see it. But she will never, she will not say thank you. Sometimes I'll be the one to say, Mommy, can't you say thank you?
Yeah.
She will not say thank you. But that's not a thing. It's not a thing. So as I went on, I would always run to my sister. I'm like, I just bought groceries worth thousands of trying to impress this woman like she's my freaking boyfriend. And I'm saying that I just bought groceries, like, oh my God, what's this, that? And this woman did not say one thank you. Or I just washed her clothes and she did not even say thank you. Like, I know you're my parent. I know it's things that as a child now you're supposed to do now.
Yeah.
But encourage me now. Like, just say thank you, this and that. But rather, when I do one mistake,
Oh God.
You are this is what you always do.
The day you fumble, oh my
and
goodness.
I'm like, always. I hate that word always. Like that, it was just like once or twice. But she said, I'm like, Mommy, it's not always. Like, this is just the second time I'm doing this and I'm sorry. I'll be pleading with all these things. But I came to one understanding that I grew older and I understood her. I think last time when you hear your parents talk, you need to listen. Like, emphasis on you need to listen inside those words, not the words themselves. Like, just read in between the lines. I think that's what people say, right? Mm-hmm. Read in between the lines. So each time she's telling me about how her mother trained her, this, that, I figured that her mom never said thank you to her. Mm-hmm. Her mom never, even the times that she would go to the farm, times that she would sweat. And I've been to my grandmother's farm before, and I swore in my life I'll never try that thing in my life again. And never. It's very far from the house. So I did that once, and I imagined for a second how my mom did that all her life till she got married. Yeah. And mom never said thank you. So she was so used to it. Though some people say, is she not supposed to do the opposite, given that she knows how it feels for when someone says no thank you, when someone doesn't say thank you, this is that. But she is not used to such a language. She never said it. So I understood that. I never scolded my mom to say, Mom, I just understood. Right? I never expected it. Yeah. So the moment I understood her, I never expected thank you. When she's trying to scold me for the one mistake I make, I just make an excuse for her in my head and ignore it and become the better version of myself moving forward.
I was about to
to her now. I just want to say something, which was understanding, yes, but also it's not okay to make excuses.
It is not okay.
So I'm not.
But let me tell you something. My sister will always say. It is already too late.
It's not.
They can't listen anymore.
They can't.
Let me tell you, if you check the mothers of... My mom is in her 60s. My dad is 83.
See.
Hold on, sorry.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you for a fact because if you check the era, my dad saw World War.
My dad too.
You need to understand. You will make excuse to the new set of parenting comes, because if you check the parenting of today, you notice that they're young and they're doing I'm going to say it. You guys are doing a bad job. I'm sorry. Your children are the most nastiest things I've ever. Let me not say things, but they are one of the nastiest children I've seen ever. That's smart. Yes, manners they do not have.
No, maybe the ones you're seeing. Well, the ones
one I have seen.
The ones I'm seeing, they're doing a great job.
Please, we're all saying personal this thing.
And
also, this is also something that is going on the internet. I'm telling you for a fact. Like on TikTok, I saw a guy that literally he was crashing out, and I'm like, what's going on? So I stay for the whole content to play, and the guy was saying how he got into a plane. And the mother was seated in between the guy and the son, right? And she could see with her eyes that he was trying to watch a movie and his son was poking tapping the keyboard, like trying to touch the laptop. And the mom is like, rightfully, she's like, oh no, don't, gentle parenting. Oh no, don't do don't do that. Don't touch his laptop. And he continues, he doesn't listen. He continues to touch the guy's laptop. And the guy was like trying to be cool, right? So he opens chocolate bars and he's like trying to take it without asking. And the mom
child.
And the mom goes, can you share? Like, rather than scolding your child for not asking, you're asking the opposite man, can you share? And the guy is like, this is how the story is going on the internet. And the guy is like, no. So when he was explaining the story, he said he was going to say no because, like, that's entitlement and that's wrong. That's like the one of the weirdest things that can ever happen to a child.
I'm sorry, that is Osabiliki. When I was young, they call it Osa. Like
my mother would backhand. Like, this is backhand.
I have a bad experience with this thing, so I don't want to speak on it.
I mean, I don't think.
Sorry. So he goes ahead and says no.
Yeah.
And the woman crashes out to the man. This is someone that she was nice to. Oh, hi, hello, sit. Her son starts acting out and she starts crashing out to the man. Oh, are you kidding me? He's just a child. You're so selfish. Calling the person names all because of gentle parenting. And this is one of the many stories that is going on the internet. This is one of the many, because I've heard 3 other.
Can I just correct you on that? I don't think it's the parent of this generation. There's no such thing as this generation. Human beings are going to be human beings.
Exactly.
There are parents that have raised the adults that we have now, and the adults don't have sense. That's how you
everybody
see.
has, like,
That's
so,
how
like,
you see.
There's an era. There's always
No.
an era.
That's how you
There's
see
an era
men.
and always a generation.
No. That's how you see men
So-
on the internet
So when
saying all sorts of things about women. Is it not their parents that raised them? Are they not the adults of today?
No, I'm
Yes.
aware. But when you said there's no like thing as
There is no
generational.
such thing as
there is,
generation.
because there is era. There's always an era. There's a time.
Yes,
This
there's
is
an era,
so
but
like
what she's talking about.
Human beings are human beings.
Exactly.
Like,
I'm aware.
individually.
It's not
but
about.
it is not. Sorry to cut you. It is not. If you check it, it is not as terrible as it is today.
Oh, it
so
is.
now, no, it is not.
Okay.
So the reason for that is because people will always say elderly people nowadays don't have sense, and that's sometimes true. I agree sometimes, right? Sometimes. But if you check the pandemic of how kids are mannerless today, it is not as...
I don't know, I feel like it's the kids you are
I'm
saying,
telling
though.
you,
Not the
I'm telling you,
kids.
when I was younger, I would go to my grandmother's house and I would greet my mom properly and greet my grandmother properly. And I would greet my uncles and aunties properly. I'm telling you, these days, they would say good morning and walk out, right? Which is not a bad thing. An elderly person will be like, oh my God, your child doesn't have respect, all because they didn't do the exaggerated greeting.
Which is sometimes
Which
and
is-
most times hypocrisy, if you ask me.
Okay.
Yes.
Which is sometimes hypocrisy.
Yes.
Right? And I would not agree with that because that was how they trained those people. That was how their own mother and their mother's mother said, this is how you're supposed to greet. But younger people of today, because of the internet, is like, they're always very... I said good morning. Isn't that good enough for you? Right? I shouldn't do the whole performance and everything. But like I will always... I feel like I'm a Gen Z in... I'm an old person in a
You're a
Gen Z
millennial
body.
in a Gen Z body.
Like I'm a very... Because I feel like those times, it wasn't necessarily about the double lane. It wasn't necessarily about the performance or trying to greet when you're trying to greet your grandma. It's just making you understand what it means to have regard for that person. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if I say, if a child goes good morning and I walk past, you have no regard for that person. If you say good morning, how are you? I'm okay, I'm well, thank you. That is regard. So there's a right way and there's a normal way people are so used to doing things. So it's the mentality. It's never really about whatever you do. It's just like when I say, shut up. People just laugh at it. It's the words, right? But me, if you tell me shut up in the middle of a conversation, I say that that's a mentality of you trying to like you're oppressing me. Do you understand what I'm saying? So
when
it's
it
the
comes to
motive
this whole-
behind everything.
When it comes to this whole greeting thing, and you know the way you have said the ballet,
that's just an example to what
I'm
basically trying to pass
I'm
across.
just trying to come off that particular statement.
Okay.
So one thing I know I was raised to do, or my mom taught me, was to greet.
Yes.
Like you would
and
greet.
to greet properly.
Greet properly, but
so what's the definition of greeting properly?
When I come into a room and there are adults there,
okay.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, ma. And I walk away. If they don't reply me, that's fine. If they reply me, that's still fine.
You see, that's
So
another
I
issue.
just walk away.
The
And then
response.
I built a self-defense method of, if I greet you once, greet you twice, and you don't respond to me, I will not greet you again. And that's my person.
So the thing
That's
is that why am I
me as a
greeting
person.
more than once?
I'm just saying, no. I
Well,
want to give
some
you the
parents
benefit
would
of
make
doubt.
you greet
So now,
more
when
than
you go
once.
about gentle parenting and this era thing, so I always like to say this for myself here. So I like to say I'm not Gen Z, and I'm not millennial. So you know the people born between 96 and 99. They are very somehow. We are very somehow. Sorry.
In the middle.
We just always we can cohabit with millennials and we can cohabit with Gen Zs. So that's why whenever I'm with Gen Zs and they go to farm, I'm like, I think this is a bit too much for me. Then when I'm with millennials and they want to go very rigid, I'm like, you will have to calm down. So yes, I was talking to a friend about it. They're like, oh, we are called zillennials. I'm like, I'm very So me, I like to always strike a balance. So now where the balance comes in for me is, you say gentle parenting and all that. I don't think it's the era thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to say
Individual.
this. I think it's the person.
Personal.
It's the babe that is the mother or the
And the
father.
father.
That's it.
So what
Because
you say is a personal thing. So
I
Okay.
feel it's a human thing.
Yeah.
If I
Yeah.
have kids today, I'm going to train my kids
Well,
So you're
exactly.
training
I'm
them
going to
well
let them know
based
that
off sorry.
if you do this, you're going to get an ass whooping. That's
Right?
it.
Sorry,
Simple.
but you're doing that based off an experience that you've had. You cannot. So the. I don't know how best to pass this thing across by not even coming off like. But I'm going to say this: the human brain. I'm going to talk about the brain since everybody is being defensive based on. Not defensive, but like you're defending what you're saying now. I'm not saying defensive in an aggressive way. It's a defense. It's not like an offensive word.
Yeah.
Defending what you're saying by giving the right examples, right? And by saying human beings. Thank you for saying human beings, because with human beings we have brains, and with brains that things that happen in our brain, that records, that stays, that automatically processes into our actions and decisions, right? The reason why I say that is that, do you know, like, medically now, if you decide to read something before you go to bed, that's going to stay with you to like the end of the week, right? That is why some people would say, oh, I'm not a night reader, I'm a day reader, I'm a this, that, but like there's a way that the brain works. If you experience something, it is natural for you to implement that thing in every decision you take.
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm saying? It is natural. So when I say there's an error, and the reason why I said there's an error is because of their experiences. So I would say to you, and that's why I gave used my mother as an example of when she did not experience saying thank you. Our brain is not used to that word. It is not. So I would not go ahead and say, oh, it's because my mom choose. It's just a natural. Do you know, as time goes on, if I decide to use the word thank you to my mother, she's gonna just unconsciously gonna realize that she will start saying thank you. So when you say you, there's no era, there's no generation, I disagree, because those people experience something for them to pass it down their children. It's an information.
I mean, two truths can exist.
Yeah.
So
we have to wrap up now.
Yes.
But I'm just going to say this before we wrap up, that I think human beings, there's no such thing, my opinion, is there's no such thing as an era. Human beings can be evil and can be good.
Yeah.
Right? Human beings, it doesn't matter how well you train a child. If a child wants to be a bad child, the child will be bad.
Period.
Do you understand? If there's something called, there's the nature and nurture, right? There's the nature of a child and there's the way you nurture the child. If a child wants to be bad, the child will be bad.
100%.
There are psychopaths that have been trained, that have gone to therapy.
They came
that
from
have
a
done this.
family.
They came from a good family, but they are psychopaths. They are serial killers. So it doesn't
and
matter.
that's something that has to do with the brain, though.
Yes, but it doesn't matter the era you train the child. That is what I believe. I can train a child in this era, and the child will be one of the best children. And I can also train a child in this era, and the child will be evil.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? It
I'm
doesn't
aware.
matter. Your mom didn't grow up with someone that was saying thank you to her. Your grandmother wasn't, someone that would say thank you. But your mom could have made a decision at some point in time that I would start saying thank you. You said this thing. It's about making a conscious decision, right? You said it's too late. I don't think it's too late. Right? You're even talking about the human brain. You just said now that if you start saying thank you continuously to your mom would change. So there's no such thing as too late.
Exactly.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
So the reason why
I'm not trying to criticize your parents or whatever. I'm just saying that human beings will always be human beings. There was Hitler in his time. There are other bad people like Hitler.
I use the word pandemic as well. So
Yeah,
it's not
so-
like me saying there's a line. I'm saying that the level in which then and now there's
And
one that is higher
what
than the
I'm
other.
saying is there's
But-
no level whatsoever.
Okay.
Human beings are evil. I think, let me just even use the whole Bible situation. Cain killed Abel.
From the days of the Bible.
Like, he killed 1/3 of the population at the time. Do you understand? So, like, human beings have been evil and can be good. So I don't think there's a thin line, or there's this, there's that. It was better then, now it's worse now. I think
That's
it
why
has
you
always
even
been.
hear stories that most people say on social media that why is that most pastor kids are the ones that are not properly trained well.
Yeah.
It was going on, and people were like, but they are supposed to be pastor children. That's why you can't really determine
Exactly.
these things. Some people can pour out their whole heart
It's
and
just-
say,
that's
I want
just-
to be intentional about training my child, and then the
That's
child
just
just ends
humanity
up.
for you.
That's
I'm so
how
sorry.
crazy
But
the
anyways,
world is.
if you guys want to join the conversation, if you have an opinion in the comment section that you'd like to drop, if you think what I'm saying is wrong and what she's saying is wrong, or you have an opinion on this conversation, please let us know in the comment section, because we have to wrap up now. And also, if you enjoy these conversations that we have on the show on what the internet said, and you want to be a part of the show, well, the QR code is on the screen, and you can join our WhatsApp community. And also follow, share, like, subscribe, comment, do everything in the book.
And I can't wait to have you. I mean,
Yes, we can. So